For the first 6 months of living here, I thought Slovaks were cold because I misread every single social signal in Slovakia. I was walking around with a British social map that completely failed me here. I interpreted the lack of smiling as misery. I thought that directness was rudeness. I was convinced the stereotype was true, that Slovaks are cold, but I was reading the map upside down. They aren't cold. They just value privacy in a way I didn't understand. So here is the truth about making friends in Slovakia and the coconut theory. It changed everything for me. So at first, of course, I was incredibly lonely and I was mainly joining expat groups and meeting like-minded individuals and others who were going through something similar to me. Naturally, you gravitate towards other people who's in the same position as you. And that feels safe. But the problem with that is you're not truly integrating, you're not truly acclimatizing. So instead of trying to adapt and be able to join into Slovak culture and integrate, you can't really do that without knowing Slovaks. Whilst on the surface, Slovaks might seem a bit cold because they're quite stern and not necessarily so smiley, which is different from English-speaking countries. We tend to be more maybe polite on the surface and more smiley, but in Slovakia, people tend to be more straight-faced. And I misread this straight-faced attitude and stern look as, well, they didn't like me. Or that Slovaks are cold. So for months, I thought I was the problem. I thought I was just socially awkward. So let's talk about the coconut theory. The interesting thing is, with English-speaking countries and Brits, we tend to be really pleasant and smiley on the surface, and maybe it's a bit harder to get to the center where we'd be more authentic and we more open up. We can talk about the deeper topics and we can become closer friends. That takes a lot of time and it's difficult. Whereas the interesting thing I've noticed with Slovaks is almost like they're like a coconut, right? It's really hard on the outside, tough to crack in, tough to break the shell. But once you do, they are softer on the inside, meaning that they're much more friendly. And once you build trust and a Slovak looks at you as a friend, they have got your back no matter what. If your car breaks down or something at 3 a.m., they're going to be there, right? They're truly, really, really loyal people and loyal friends. And this is the thing, for Slovaks, you need to build up that trust, right? They need to be able to see you as a friend. They need to be able to see you as someone who they can rely upon, and vice versa. And this is the thing, if you want to acclimatize and move to Slovakia, you need to be aware that it might take you some time for Slovaks to warm to you, but once they do, you've got a friend for life. And that's the difference. Maybe in the UK or in other places or other native English-speaking places, it will be more polite and friendly on the surface, but you don't truly know how deep the friendship is. And that's not to say friendships with Brits or with native English speakers aren't good. It's just that it might be more on face value and not actually have that depth. At least sometimes. So with that in mind, how do you actually crack the shell? The key thing to make friends with Slovaks, so if you're an expat and you're wanting to know, how can I become friends with Slovaks? How can I truly make local friends, not just expat friends? Well, I would say the key thing is having shared interests. And Slovaks tend to be quite active people. So going on hikes or joining sports groups or different things like this will really help in getting to know more Slovaks. And Slovaks, from my experience, they tend to prefer doing shared activities rather than small talk. I mean, don't get me wrong, they might not mind it, but I think it takes time for a Slovak to trust you and to see you as a friend. And the thing is, if you say you want to meet up, let's grab a drink sometime, in the UK that might mean, yeah, maybe you will. Also, highly likely you won't. It's just being polite and saying, oh yeah, let's meet up sometime, having no actual interest in doing so. Whereas in Slovakia, if you say, let's meet up, let's grab a drink sometime, then
you mean to actually have plans to do so. If you say it, then you should mean it.
This is where not beating around the bush and being direct
is going to get you further with Slovaks. Because if they see you as someone who just says stuff but doesn't actually follow through with it, they're not going to trust you. They're not going to think that you are reliable and you could be a friend. That's why you need to build that trust. If you say you're going to do something, do it. And be honest about it, be direct. And the thing is, even if it might not be something that they like or agree with, but at least if you're honest and you're direct about it, they would appreciate that. And I think this is something in general that I've liked about moving to Slovakia, and sort of whilst adapting my behaviors to a degree, but also improving myself, because I do think it's something that I always wanted to be a bit more honest, a bit more direct, because I think it leads to a better conversation with people, for one, and you're more in sync. You're not second guessing whether they like you, whether you get on well, or just anything in general. You exactly know what the situation is. You know where you stand, and you don't even need to overthink. And for anyone who is an overthinker, this is a game changer, because you won't have that. You won't need to. And the thing is, like I say, with Slovaks, being unreliable will kill that friendship instantly. If you constantly show up and you prove to be reliable and you prove to be someone of your word, that's how you're going to earn trust of a Slovak. That's how you're going to make friends in Slovakia. It might take you longer to make 1 or 2 Slovak friends to maybe in a native English speaking country where you might make 20 acquaintances, but these friends are going to be special. They're going to be the ones who would back you up no matter what.
So if you're new here or thinking of moving here to Slovakia, don't let the hard shell discourage you. Don't take the lack of smiles personally. Just keep chipping away, be patient, be honest, be direct, and eventually you'll break that shell down and you'll have some friends for life. If you're an expat, let me know your experiences. Have you managed to turn a cold Slovak into a warm friend? I'm curious to know your experiences and your stories, so let me know down below. Or if maybe you're Slovak yourself, let me know your thoughts down below. I'm eager to know what you think. So with that said, we've covered how you can make new friends here, but it does come with a price tag. Losing the connection with the people we left behind. Because when we move abroad, that can weaken some of our friendships. And I'm actually working on a video about that painful reality right now. So make sure you're subscribed to see it. In the meantime, if you'd like to know about the British habits that I needed to stop myself from doing in order to fit into Slovakia, then watch this video next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you over there. Take care. Bye-bye.